What's good, YouTube family? Yo, welcome to the page. I appreciate it. Little old me, I don't know how, but you stopped over here and made your way to check out my content. I can't believe I'm even using that word, content, YouTube. I never imagined this, but here I am. But listen, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing until you like the video. I ain't doing nothing until you like the video. Y'all gonna make the patois come out to me, you know. So I ain't doing nothing like the video right now, because this one is extremely important, near and dear to me, being a former law enforcement officer. I'm about to give you the five do's and don'ts for traffic stops, right? Because I want to keep you out of them handcuffs, keep you out of that jail, and potentially just save your life. So stay tuned. I'm giving you five, not six, five do's and don'ts for a traffic stop. We should start with the do's, right? Because I want the don'ts to be the last thing you remember. So, number one for the do's, have your documents readily available. What do I mean? All states, like I worked in the city of Atlanta. Shout out to Zone 4 SWATs, Campbellton Road, Stanton Road. Anyway, most states don't require all those documentations, right? License, registration, insurance. Like in Georgia, all I needed was your license, right? Because your registration and insurance, I had all that info in my what's called the MDT. But just in case, have your license, have your insurance, and your registration readily available, so you're not reaching around for anything when the officer is coming up to approach you. Two, number few, as they would say in Jamaica. Listen, this was a thing for me too. If you got tinted windows, if you like me and you got illegal tints like lemoed out, wind down all of your windows. Trust me, that's gonna bring the temperature down. When I was on the streets, I was working the streets, especially at night. Any vehicle I had to pull over at night that had limo tints, I would always jump on the loudspeaker and say, wind down all your windows, right? You wind down all your windows. Also, what I would do, what I would recommend, turn on that dome light, right? So the officer could see everything in there. He could see inside, he or she could see inside. That's gonna bring the temperature down. But you got this lemoed out tint, and law enforcement can't see in. That's gonna make them a little nervous, right? That may bring the situation to here, right? When you could have it all the way down here just by winding down your window. Three, keep your hands visible at all times. What Busta Rhymes said. What he say? Put your hands where my eyes can see. Yes. Number three, keep your hands visible. Don't go reaching around. That's why I said have your stuff readily available, right? Because reaching around and you know what I'm saying, it made me too. It makes me nervous, especially when I didn't tell you to reach for anything and you reaching around and we don't know what law enforcement does not know what you're doing. So keep your hands visible. When I get pulled over, or when I used to get pulled over, whenever, right? I keep my hands on the steering wheel at all times. I keep my hands on the steering wheel because I want them to see my hands. I want the police officer, I want them to see my hands. So keep your hands visible at all times. Four, this is important too, because people watch these crime shows and they feel like they're supposed to be provided a reason why they're being pulled over. No, that's discretionary. That's up to the officer, right? They don't have to tell you nothing. Why? It's going to be on your ticket if you get a ticket, right? The reason for that stop will be on that ticket, right? No, some officers do some BS, right? But the law, right, across the nation requires law enforcement officers to have probable cause, right? Probable cause to pull you over, to conduct a traffic stop, which is an investigation. Five, you have to take your citation. Let me repeat that. You have to take your citation. In different jurisdictions, things are different. Like when I used to work in Atlanta, you had to sign it. If you didn't sign it, you were going to jail. There was this incident a few years ago where the officer ended up, APD officer, I wasn't there at the time, ended up killing this man, getting into it with this old man over not signing, right? But most jurisdictions now, if you don't sign, the officer will just refuse to sign, but you must take the citation, right? You have to take that citation because I think in most jurisdictions, if you refuse to take the citation, then you're going to jail. Why? Because they're going to put you in front of the judge since you don't want to take the citation to remember when your potential court date could be. All right. And I'm going to give you an extra one, right? So I said five, but this one is about to be six, right? If And this is going to be your discretion, right? Whether you tell the officer when they come up if you're armed, or I would suggest wait until you potentially may have to get out of the vehicle. If the officer says, hey, do me a favor, step out of the vehicle, which they can tell you, Pennsylvania versus Mims, before you step out, hey officer, I just want to let you know I have a firearm on you, right? And don't do nothing crazy, so they don't do nothing crazy, right? Just sit there and follow their instructions. But I always wait. I'm always armed. I'm always armed, right? Always. So if an officer, in any case, they want me to get out and say, hey, officer, I just want to let you know, I am armed. And before we get into the don'ts, listen, if first off, simplify to all my Marines out there, all right? Hoorah, simplify to all my Marines. If you like this gear right here, you like this shirt, go over to simplebkclothing.com. That's me, no doubt. Go over there, go check out that website. I got a bunch of fire clothes over there, hats, everything you could love. I got stuff for the kids, wonderful women, and of course the men. All right, so go over to simplebkclothing.com if you want some fly gear. All right, let's get into the don'ts. The number one, extremely important: don't argue. You're not going to win an argument on the side of a road with a police officer. You're going to lose that argument every single time. Don't argue. Argue in court. If the officer said you did something, you don't feel like you did it, okay, thank you. Take your ticket, call, get your court date, go to court. Don't argue. You are going to lose and potentially escalate the situation. 2, don't get an attitude. This kind of aligns with number 1, right? Don't get an attitude. Yo, when I was out on the street, your attitude, the people's attitudes always dictated what I wanted to do or what I was going to do. Most of the time I roll up to a car, there's an instant attitude. And immediately I'm like, all right, cool. You get a ticket for what I pulled you over for. The majority of the time when I was a police officer, I was just checking for, I pulled you over. I had probable cause to pull you over, right? Maybe you didn't have on your seatbelt, right? And when I come up to you, I want to gauge your attitude when I say, hey, I pulled you over because you didn't have on your seatbelt. If you're like, oh, officer, my bad. I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. Let me see your license. If you didn't have any warrants, you were on your way with me. You can ask anybody on 408 Beat, Southwest Atlanta, Camberton Road, Stanton, Honeysuckle. I don't need to get into all the streets, you know what I'm saying? But ask anybody around it. Me, you ain't had no warrants or nothing crazy like that, I'm sending you on your way. And your attitude dictated what I was going to do. Don't get an attitude, all right? 3, lie. What Kevin Hart said? Lie.
Will ruin your goddamn
Lie.
life.
Lie. Don't lie, right? Because check it. When you lie, when an officer pulls you over, they are conducting an investigation. That traffic stop is an investigation, right? They're investigating a traffic infraction. So you lying, essentially you're obstructing their investigation. Now in Georgia, that's a state charge as opposed to just a traffic citation or a city ordinance charge, right? So in most of your jurisdictions, you lie to a police officer, false information to a police officer, that's a misdemeanor, as opposed to just a simple like city charge, right? Or a traffic citation. Now you turn this into a whole misdemeanor situation, right? Where you could potentially face prison time, jail time, right? Misdemeanor is gonna be under a year. Just don't lie. 4, I mentioned this in the dues briefly, right? Don't refuse to get out of the car. There's some places deep down in the South, I don't understand why police officers do it. I'd rather you stay in your vehicle, right? I don't want you getting out, surprising me with anything. But you ask to get out of the car, you need to get out of the car. You have to get out of the car, period. Pennsylvania versus Mims. Go check it out. Supreme Court decision. An officer telling you to get out of the car is not violating your 4th Amendment rights. The right to be secure in your purses, houses, papers, and effects against reasonable searches and seizures. Supreme Court said in, I think, 1977, that's not a violation. So you need to get out of the car. You don't get out of the car, again, now you're turning that simple traffic stop into an obstruction. You're obstructing the investigation. Get out the car if I tell you to get out of the car. And lastly, number 5, I kind of mentioned this in the dudes as well, but don't make any sudden movements, right? All police officers are different, right? Police officers, they grew up differently, right? I can't say I worked with many, but I knew of a bunch of police officers that was scary as hell. They were scary as hell. You sit in the car, you sneeze, they may back up and draw a taser or a gun or something, you know what I'm saying? And then some people are different, right? It took a little bit more for you to get me to a point where, now I'm concerned for my safety. But everybody's not the same, right? So keep that in mind when you're pulled over, right? Don't make any sudden moves. Don't do nothing the officer did not tell you to do. All right. And there it is. There it is. Please follow those. Yo, share this video. This is extremely important because there's a lot of people out there that don't know these simple things, right? Share this with a friend, a family, with somebody you love. I was gonna say with somebody you hate, but maybe not, right? But anyway, yo, share it. I appreciate you checking it out. Like I said, go over to simplebkclothing.com. That's my website. Go get some fresh gear. I'm older. I said fresh, right? It is what it is. Yo, but stay tuned. Make sure you like this video. Drop a comment down there. I'm gonna check it. I ain't that popular. Trust me. All right. And share it. Go over, check out my clothing website store. All right. Peace.